Welcome everyone. Let's talk about the latest Express Entry draw, that is draw number 201 and 202, and literally dissect them to see what the numbers mean. Is it the dawn of FSW draws? When are they expected to resume? How long can IRCC keep this inland candidate trend? Watch the video till the end to find out. Hey, that's us. I'm Kshitij and this is Sonali. We are just regular people who woke up one day and decided to move to Canada. We have been waiting in the Express Entry pool ever since. Because we are a bit nerdy, we analyze the Canadian immigration process and present it on our channel. This series is all about the Express Entry draws and their future in 2021. We will break down each draw and give you all the numbers and what they mean. Since we are already doing all the work, the only thing you need to do is subscribe to our channel and never miss an update on the latest draw. So let's get into it. As promised, it's time to rip up the latest draws and get crazy with numbers. Let's get into the Express Entry draw number 201 and 202, which invites the PNP and CEC candidates. This will be the last Express Entry draw for August 2021. It was announced on 18th August 2021 for PNP candidates, issuing 463 invites to people with CRS score higher than 751. Whereas the second draw was announced the very next day, that is on 19th August 2021, inviting 3000 CEC candidates, with cutoff scores hitting a rock bottom at 403. Let us discuss the next statistic, that is the tie-breaking rule. It is basically a rule for people with the same CRS score. It depends upon the time you submit your Express Entry profile. Now, this is a very interesting statistic to look at. The lesser the difference between the tie-breaking date and the draw date, lesser is the competition in the pool, which means lesser number of profiles are waiting in the pool. For instance, let's look at the last CEC draw on 5th August, which had a tie-breaking date of 3rd August. This means virtually no one is waiting in the pool. People who created their profile just 2 days prior are getting selected, which checks out since all we had this year was CEC and PNP draws, as opposed to, let's say, the last FSW draw number 170, which was held on 23rd December 2020 with tiebreaker of 4 July 2020, which is 6 months, meaning the pool was overcrowded already. For this recent draw, the tie-breaking rule was 13th April, but in case of PNP, it does not mean we have an overcrowded pool. The reason for this is the long processing time for PNP applications and involvement of multiple steps. First, the candidate creates an Express Entry profile, then express their interest on the province's website, followed by getting an invitation from the province. Then the candidate would submit their application and documents to the province, finally getting approved for PNP. After getting this approval letter, you would then end this whole thing off by adding it to your Express Entry profile. That's a long process taking months, and if you add COVID in the mix, it's a recipe for further delays. For the latest CEC draw, this tiebreaker was 1st August, again signifying an empty CEC pool. Let's look at how the pool is doing these days. Pool data updates before each draw. So last the pool was updated on 3rd August and now just before this draw, that is on 16th August. Right off the bat, you can see there is a decrease in PNP candidates in the 600 to 1200 bracket. As far as CEC candidates are concerned, which lies from 490 to 600, we have an increase of 51 candidates, which is negligible. However, the FSW candidates are increasing. We have an increase in FSW people, though not so much, with 60 people increasing in the 481 and 490 range, 294 people increasing in the 471 to 780 range, and a total of 164 increase in the lowest bracket we are going to analyze today. There is no point analyzing anything below this, as if the FSW draws did resume, there are just too many people above this point and just no chance the cutoffs can ever drop below that level. The big question is that what does it mean for the FSW candidates? Because you are now up to speed with all the figures, now let's talk what they mean. First and foremost, IRCC cannot keep this up. It's just not sustainable. There were 486 candidates in the pool, and out of them they invited 463. That's just running on fumes, and they are going out of gas soon. Furthermore, their quota for PNP this year is 80,800, and they have issued only 8,000 invitations so far. That's just 10%. Whereas in reality, in order to get 80,800 PNP immigrants, they need to invite at least 100,000 applications, considering the 20% application rejection rate. A huge shout out to Honest for pointing out this cool fact. Comment down below your opinion as to how long you think IRCC will invite only inland candidates, and I will pick up the best comment for my next shout out. Similarly, CEC cutoffs are 401, and that lower cutoff signifies there are not just as many CEC candidates left. To give you some context, it was 461 in January, just 6 months back, and has constantly decreased to reach 401. That means everyone who is eligible for CEC is getting the invitation. Even the tiebreaker point to this. Now the last and the biggest question we will address today is when. When are FSW draws coming back? I think FSW draws are going to resume after the Canadian elections. There are two reasons for it. All parties are already targeting immigration as election propaganda. There are 8 million immigrants living in Canada, which is close to 20% of Canada's total population. Now that is a big number, and getting immigrants on your side means a bigger vote bank. By boosting the inland candidate, which generally have connections and family members in Canada, they are in fact boosting a positive image of the Liberal government. It just cannot be that Justin Trudeau suddenly announced elections out of the blue. Liberals must have been planning these elections for 6 months at least, precisely around the time they started with the inland draws, and also launched an additional stream inviting 90,000 new immigrants in Canada. This will strengthen the positive image Liberals are already having in the country. We are going to address this topic in much more detail in our next upcoming video, so stay tuned and subscribe to this channel. The second reason which we discussed is that this model is just not sustainable, and in order to reach their 401,000 immigration target for this year, they have to start opening up other immigration streams. I talk about this point in much more depth here. Also, let us know your opinion on all this and whether you agree with us or not. Just comment down below. And finally, subscribe to our channel if you don't want to miss any updates on Canadian immigration.